And what we'll do is we'll start each question, I'll introduce it, tell you how much time it is, and then Gigi is our timer. When you get to 15 seconds, she will cut you off. So to start with, we're going to give each candidate 30 seconds to basically give them their introduction. And you ready, Gigi? All right, go.
Good evening. My name is Rodney Watson, and I'm your Hill County Sheriff. I'm a lifelong resident of Hill County. I attended Hillsborough High School where I graduated, and then Hill College. I've been a peace officer for 26 years. I've spent my entire career in Hill County. I have two sons. Kenny is 23. He's a lineman for United Co-op in Cleveland. My youngest is Davis, and he's a police officer at Hillsborough. I'm very proud of my two boys.
Awesome. Very good. All right, so tonight's theme is on leadership. The office of sheriff is a revered office in our great state. Many people who have served as a county sheriff have become the unquestioned leader of their respective county, while others have served only to serve themselves at best or have been a complete disappointment at worst. We want to know about you as a person who is seeking the office of Sheriff of Hill County. So our first question is, and it's a 2-minute answer, why are you running for sheriff? And please include any leadership positions you have attained.
Law enforcement's always been my passion, and Hill County's always been my home. My family owned a hardware in Hillsborough, so I learned service to the people. My two boys, they're servants. One's a public servant and one's a lineman. My experience includes, I started out at Hill County where I started out as a jailer in 1990. I dispatched, I went to the academy in 92 and became a peace officer. I then worked the field. I worked as a field deputy, and we worked our own investigations. In 95, I went to the Hillsborough Police Department where I started out in patrol. I then went to the rank of corporal, the rank of sergeant, and then the rank of lieutenant, ultimately achieving the rank of second in command as a lieutenant under the chief, serving as the department head in his absence. There were many roles and responsibilities there. I worked there until 2011, I believe it was, and then went to Whitney Police Department. I rose to the rank of lieutenant at the Whitney Police Department, and I worked in Covington as a reserve also at the request of the chief at the time to help them out on some things. I went back to Hill County in 2013 where I was the chief deputy. I worked there as a chief deputy, and then in the next election I ran and ultimately won sheriff. It's been an experience to say the least. I've learned a lot of good things have happened. I like people to do a comparison from 2015 to where we're at now. There's a lot of changes, a lot of good things have happened. We have a really good administration, really strong administration. They believe in community service. They're very experienced, really good group.
That's the 2 minutes? Give them, when it's 15 seconds, give them the, okay, good. All right, thank you. All right, our next question will be, this will be a 1-minute answer, so about half the time you just had. What is your leadership style, and give us an example.
My leadership style is participative. I believe that we need to empower our employees and encourage them to grow. I think that people need to feel like they're a part of the organization. It's very important. It gives them, they buy into the program a lot better, I believe. I'm not much of I delegate a lot, and the communication is very good, and relationships are pertinent, and they understand that. My administration understands that. With these relationships, we've been able to build a very good relationship with the Commissioner's Court, which is imperative to do this job, and as a result of that, we've come a long way.
We now have several questions in regards to the visibility of the sheriff. This first one will be a 2-minute answer. Who should be the primary voice of the sheriff's office, and why?
I believe the sheriff should be the primary voice. I mean, ultimately, the responsibility comes down to me. If there's a failure, it's my failure. I believe if the success is, it's a team effort. It takes a team to make it work, and anybody can get up here and tell you that they can do this and they can do that. Without that team effort, it's not going to happen. Without those relationships, it's not going to happen. Visibility is important. You have to be approachable. You have to be approachable to the people, and the people have to know you're approachable. That's very important. We want people to be comfortable with them. I want people to be comfortable with me. If there's a problem, we need to know about that problem. And for me to know about that problem, I have to be approachable to you. And I'm accountable to you, so I need to be approachable.
Great. All right. Second question regarding visibility. This is also a 2-minute answer. What is the best way for the sheriff's office to communicate to the citizens of Hill County?
I believe in face-to-face communication. When our deputies are out, it's important that they go and they talk to people, they get out and they talk to people. I think it's very important to know your community that you serve to effectively serve your community. You have to have the relationship with the people, and with that relationship, the people are going to talk to you, they're going to tell you what's going on, they're going to be comfortable with you, and the communication opens up. As long as they know that our guys are approachable, those communications will stay open, and that's imperative. I've always been a believer in the face-to-face communications. Of course, now everything's electronic, and I'm not a big fan of that because you lose the face-to-face connections, and that face-to-face communication is important.
All right, so you told us the way you want to communicate. The next question, also a 2-minute answer. What should be communicated to the people of Hill County?
I think we should be open and honest about crime trends and where these crimes are taking place at, because if you have crimes going on in your area and we're not honest about what's going on, then you're going to have the false notion that there's not crime in that area. We need to know where that crime's at, and we need you to know where that crime's at, so because you're our eyes and our ears. The police are the community, and the community are the police. So without that knowledge, without you having that knowledge, you might get a false sense of security that your area is secure when it may not be that secure. And I believe that we need to be very honest about that. I think we need to be very honest about it. And that communication is very important.
And our last question in regards to visibility. What role should social media play in the operations of the sheriff's office? This is a 1-minute answer.
Social media is a great tool. We find out a lot of information on social media, and it's right there at our fingertips. We've cleared a lot of cases using social media. It's been a very good tool. We can communicate through social media if there's a robbery or a burglary or something going on in an area, and we can reach a wide range of people through that tool of social media. We've used it on numerous occasions. We'll put video of a potential or a suspect, and a lot of times we get them identified through social media. So social media is an excellent tool.
All right, this is our last question in regards to leadership. This will be a 2-minute answer. This is your last one for this portion. Give an example of a contentious workplace situation you were involved in, and how did you resolve the problem? 2 minutes.
Well, recently we had a hanging in our jail, and very unfortunate. The jail's full of people that are suicidal and some hardened criminals, and the notion that you can stand over them 24/7 and watch them, it's absolutely, it can't be done. We learned some lessons on that. What we did, we restricted ourselves. The state mandates a 30-minute round on suicide watches. We made the mistake of restricting ourselves to a 15-minute round on the chart. Once we restrict ourselves to that, we're bound to that by state regulation. And as a result of that, we went over, I believe it was a minute and a half on the rounds. And we learned from that. We learned from that. You can do as many rounds as you want to within that 30 minutes, as long as you have 30 minutes on that round. So that was a learning lesson. There's going to be learning lessons along the way, but we do our best to correct those, and we'll continue to do our best to correct them.
Okay, very good.